Hey y'all, I'm Elle and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back y'all to the 2025 K Influencer program. I'm so glad to be a part of it for yet another year. And today we're going to be talking about my first K moment. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering, why am I holding up a light stick? So I just thought this video needed a mic and I don't have one, so I'm using my light stick instead. But without further ado, let's get into my first K moment. Now, you're probably thinking, what is a K moment? Well, a K moment is the first time you really got introduced to Korean culture and thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I could really learn some more about it. I would like to learn some more about it. So it could be the first time you tried Korean food, the first time you heard a Korean song on the radio and thought, who's this artist? But without further ado, like I said, let's get into mine. My first ever K moment came in 2021. I've just moved back into my parents' home after a total of 2 months in university because it turns out that all my in-person classes are actually online. And I now moved back home to save myself some money. But I, at this time, wasn't really leaving the house that much given the fact that it was COVID. So a lot of my time would be spent watching shows and series and things because I'm a very big film buff. But I'm sitting on the couch scrolling one day and I come across a drama called Crash Landing on You. And I read the concept and I think, this is so interesting. I would love to watch this. I don't even check the language or anything like that. I click on it, it's in Korean. But this premise of the show is so interesting that I could not stop watching. And that is my first K moment, is the 2 days that I binged Crash Landing on You without fail because it was so addicting. Now, before we move on, let me tell you a bit about the show. The show centers around two main characters, a woman who crash lands in North Korea and needs to get back to South Korea, and a North Korean soldier who helps her get back to South Korea. Now, what I really enjoyed about the show is the relationships between the characters and how we start rooting for them as time goes on, and the relationships that they form with one another that are really unexpected, but so nice. It also has such beautiful scenery that I just thought, this is stunning. And what I really also love about the show is that the chemistry between the two lead actors is just so good. And I was like, when I was watching this, I was like, there's no way these two actors aren't actually married. And they are. So they're married in real life. So all the chemistry you see on screen actually transferred over in real life, and they're married and have a baby now. So this K-drama led me to have my first K moment, and that caused me to become absolutely obsessed with K-movies and K-dramas in general, because I just saw that this film industry was so unique compared to things in films that I'd seen before, and I found it so super interesting. And now today, the world is being taken by storm by the K-film and series industry. Like, if you think, most of us have seen a Korean film or series in our life. Like, Squid Games blew up and was the #1 show on Netflix for I think 2 years running straight. And Parasite won multiple awards for its amazing storytelling by the director. I can't remember his name, but I'll put it there because he's it's just so amazing. The Korean industry, film industry and TV industry, I believe, I read the other day, is actually now the 3rd biggest film industry in the world, leading productions all over the world. Now, like I said, this discovery of Crash Landing on You, the iconic K-drama, led me to have my first K moment. And I would love for you guys to also have your very own first K moment with K-dramas. So I thought that I would introduce you to 5 K-dramas for beginners that I think would make a very good first watch, obviously in addition to Crash Landing on You, because I would love to have someone else also discover this industry and see how amazing it is. #1 on my list is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? This is a classic K-drama. If you talk to any K-drama lover, they will tell you about this. Everyone's watched it, and if you watch K-dramas, you can't not watch this. It follows very traditional, like the K-drama recipe, which makes it so nice. My favorite part about the series is personally the very grand romantic gestures in it, which, like when he rents out an entire amusement park for her, y'all, I was like, I need this in my life. But one of my other favorite things about this is that it features Park Seo-joon. Now, if you're an avid K-drama watcher, you know that this man is one of the leading actors in the K-drama industry, and for a reason. And if you watch this, you'll definitely understand why. Moving swiftly on to our next K-drama for beginners, it's Vincenzo. Now, Vincenzo is more for your action-packed lovers, because this show is absolutely action-packed. Another thing I really enjoyed about Vincenzo is that I found it to be filmed so beautifully. Like the scenic scenes where they're driving in the car or driving, especially away from fire, was mesmerizing. Like, I could not tell you because I was literally engulfed in the scene. But my absolute favorite part of the show is the lovable characters. So Vincenzo moves into this building in Korea, in Seoul, and the tenants of the building absolutely make the show because each one of them is so unique, and the relationships that they form among themselves are just so entertaining to watch and see how they evolve and grow and how they all act as a community. So I recommend Vincenzo to those people looking for an action-packed community like drama. It's so fun, it's amazing, and the pacing will not disappoint you. Number 3 is actually a bit more of a recent show, and it's currently one of my top 5 dramas of, I think, this year? Yeah. So it's called The Trauma Code Euros on Call, and it is so good. It's just absolutely fast-paced, and it follows the ER team at a hospital in Seoul. And what I really, really, really liked about the show is the fact that the premise is so unique. We have a lot of K-dramas that focus on the hospital and on medical, like, things, but I've never watched a show that focuses on the emergency room specifically until I've watched the show. And I think it's so interesting because you kind of see how, like, relevant and how urgent this department is actually to saving lives in the everyday. And I like the fact that each episode basically focused on a different patient every time, because it meant that, like, the show kept on being interesting and refreshing. And, like, you will start to love these characters so much that you will be literally shouting for them as they run down the hallway to get to their patients on time, because that's how interesting and how lovable they are, that you will literally be standing on the couch and people will be looking at you like, what are you doing? Because you'll be rooting for them so hard. My 4th show is one that isn't so well known in the K-drama world. It's called Love to Hate You. Now, as a girlie who loves to read, I love a good enemies to lovers, and this show gave me exactly that. And it's just so fun to see, because that dynamic isn't explored as often as I would like it to be in K-dramas, but this show, I think, just executed it absolutely perfectly, and the dynamic between the two main characters is literally chef's kiss. Like, I don't want to say too much about the show because I think it's just so good to go into it blind, because you will be so happy with it. It's super fast-paced as well, and it has less episodes than your traditional K-drama, so it's the perfect, like, short watch if you want to watch something. And then my final K-drama for beginners is called Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Now, most people know this K-drama. It's considered kind of a classic, but the reason it's on my list is because it's just, I think, such a comforting show to watch, and I think it's the ideal show if you want to curl up under your blankets on a rainy day and just, like, have a fun time, feel the love, feel the community, everything. I actually watched the show when it was first coming out, week by week, and I literally could not wait for the episode to drop. I was sitting there and with eager anticipation every single Saturday because I needed to watch the episodes as soon as they came out. Now, this show is just so nice if you want a heartwarming, lovely show. It's about a woman who moves out of the city to a rural town and the people she meets there and how they all become and how they all act as a community. And I think that this show is also kind of better to go into blind because it just will give you so much joy. But yeah, that's my 5 K-dramas. So my fave K-dramas, like I said, is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Vincenzo, The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, Love to Hate You, and Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. So if you too want to experience your first K moment, I highly recommend you check out those 5 K-dramas, and you too will become absolutely obsessed with the Korean film industry and series industry. So until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!